Apple's latest iPhone is out, but Apple Intelligence is nowhere to be found. Welcome back to the AI Daily Brief Headlines Edition, all the daily AI news you need in around 5 minutes. One of the big exciting shifts for many in the AI space has been Apple's entrance into the field. Now, of course, Apple being Apple, they couldn't just say they were doing AI, they had to have their own name, Apple Intelligence. But why people are excited about the possibilities here is that it seems like it's effectively AI for normies, right? This is an approach to artificial intelligence that is extremely focused on simple, day-to-day, valuable use cases that abstracts away a lot of the complication, and if it works, could bring a lot of people into getting value from this field. The challenge, of course, was that after announcing Apple Intelligence, Apple said that the iPhone would be launching without Apple Intelligence actually included, at least not right away. Still, yesterday, they began testing their software in beta. For those who had signed up for pre-release tests and had iPhones from last year, they could begin testing out the Apple Intelligence features, which are promising a lot. As Yahoo Finance puts it, once the iOS 18.1 upgrade is installed with Apple Intelligence, the often bumbling Siri is supposed to become more conversational, versatile, and colorful, with a glowing light that will rotate around the iPhone screen as it responds to requests. However, even that is limited. They continue, while Apple is promising Siri will be able to perform more tasks and be less prone to becoming confused, it won't be able to interact with other apps installed on the iPhone until another software update comes out at a still unspecified date. Basically, even the test version of Apple Intelligence that is coming out is still very incremental. And this has led to a lot of reviews like this one from Axios, promising but still has a lot to learn. There's a lot of phrasing like this, only modest improvements, left me excited for the future but also impatient for it. Still, by and large, the main community reaction right now is the fail of not launching this phone with these features. SJV on Twitter writes, "It's hilarious to me that after all the hype, the Verge review doesn't even mention Apple Intelligence in its overview. Why? Because as Tech Radar concurs, the AI launch is a joke, anything but seamless or even late but better. It is AI absence of intelligence." Matthew Berman simply put it, "I find it absolutely bonkers that the entire iPhone 16 launch is centered around Apple Intelligence, but the feature isn't available until later this year." So for now, iPhone upgraders will have to wait, and even when Apple Intelligence does get pushed, it may not be the complete version. Over in the world of TikTok, like every other big tech company, TikTok owner ByteDance is trying to start making its own GPUs to stop having to rely on NVIDIA. ByteDance is reportedly developing 2 AI-focused GPUs that will enter mass production by 2026. TSMC will actually manufacture the products. Broadcom, which has also built AI chips for Google, is expected to design the chips, and they're expected to be produced on one of TSMC's N4 and 5 process technologies, which is similar to the one used by NVIDIA's Blackwell series. ByteDance has reportedly spent over $2 billion on more than 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs, and in addition to the high prices, you have to think that part of the calculus also might be the fact of continued and continually increasing, it seems, restrictions on American chip exports to China. One other issue to contend with, as Tom's Hardware puts it, the massive catch about ByteDance's initiative is that the company now relies on NVIDIA's CUDA and supporting software stack for AI training and inference. Once it goes with its AI GPUs, it must develop its software platform and ensure its software stack is fully compatible with its hardware, meaning this is an even more complicated process. Over in governance land, an AI advisory body at the United Nations released a report proposing 7 recommendations to address AI-related risks. The report was called Governing AI for Humanity. Some of the recommendations include the creation of a body similar to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change to gather up-to-date information on AI. Another recommendation is a new policy dialogue, also recommending that the UN take steps to empower poorer nations, especially those in the global south, to benefit and contribute. Concerns they flag include automating disinformation, generating deepfakes, replacing workers, and exacerbating societal algorithmic bias. Now, whether these recommendations will actually go anywhere remains an entirely different question. Finally today, an interesting one in the space between AI and energy. Nuclear has come back on the table in a big way, especially since the start of AI. And now Bloomberg is reporting that the owner of 3 Mile Island, which is a nuclear plant that was the site of a 1979 accident, is spending $1.6 billion to revive it with an agreement to sell all of the output to Microsoft. The owner, Constellation Energy Corporation, expects 3 Mile Island to go back into service in 2028. Now, it should be noted that 3 Mile Island has 2 units on site. One was permanently closed after that 1979 nuclear accident, and the other reactor was shut down in 2019 because it couldn't compete economically. Constellation is planning to reopen the reactor which shut down in 2019. As the Seattle Times writes, the decision is the latest sign of surging interest in the nuclear industry as power demand for AI soars. More than a dozen reactors went dark over roughly the past decade in face of increasing competition from cheaper natural gas and renewable energy, but growing demand for electricity from factories, cars, and especially from data centers has spurred interest in nuclear plants that can provide carbon-free power around the clock. That, friends, is going to do it for today's AI Daily Brief Headlines edition. Next up, the main episode.